Previously on Baconsale.
Previously on Baconsale.
Previously on Baconsale.
Okay. Kent, congratulations on your engagement.
This is Kate Baconsale. You're listening to Baconsale.
Woohoo! It's 2020. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I hate January. What am I even thinking? This is the worst.
Yeah.
That was so enthusiastic.
Why is everyone sick?
That was planned?
Oh.
That's a real bad omen.
Okay. Welcome to Baconsale. Hold on.
Welcome to Baconsale Season 6.
Season 6.
I'm Joel.
I'm Kent.
And Jacob.
We planned a song for that part, but we went with that instead.
I wish we could tell you what that
We
song
say
was.
planned. It was like kind of planned, but it was never fully baked.
You know it was great. It was just a little
We only had the
inappropriate.
entire break to do it. So
Joel
just a
may
month.
have put the kibosh on this.
But it's season 6 of Baconsale. Welcome, one and all. The year's 2020. Perfect clarity this year. That's what I see.
it's the future.
Is it? Oh, it is.
Just
Yeah.
couldn't resist this 2020 joke.
But seriously, guys, congratulations on us making it to Season 6.
I know.
Didn't think that was possible.
Hold on. Patting myself on the back.
Congratulations to you.
Can I finger boot both of you right now?
Oh, finger boop.
Oh, wash your hands after.
I just got sick.
You don't get sick.
You should wash your hands.
But it was a pretty, I was going to say, it was a nice break. We hope you enjoyed your break. We hope you had a good time. We hope everything went well.
Yeah.
We're back. We're back to our regularly scheduled episodes.
Every single week.
And knock on plastic.
Yeah, indeed.
We have some exciting news as well. Kent, well, not exciting news. Kent, you want to give us an update on your engagement?
I was hoping you wouldn't bring it up, actually.
We have to let the listener know.
It was a long break.
was a long
And
break.
it was heartbreaking for some.
Oh, no. What happened?
Well, you see, everything was working out fine, right? Like I went into the holidays, everything was romantic. You obviously spilled the beans.
Yep, with your
Why'd you
fiancé.
spill the beans?
Because the world needed to know how happy you are.
Well,
I never imagined you with a woman that was actually taller than you.
it's true.
But
She's
it really
6'6".
works. It really works.
She's 6'6".
She could cuddle him like he
She's
was
the
a
big
tiny
spoon.
baby.
She's the big spoon.
I know.
I've always said I wanted to be the little spoon until it happened.
Until it happened.
And then I had an inferiority complex.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just that.
It wasn't her muscles.
Wait, are you saying the engagement is off?
Oh, I've got bad news, everybody. The engagement is off.
Was it the muscles or her height?
Well, she is very strong.
Was
Yeah.
it the eyebrow thing?
It wasn't just the eyebrow thing. You see,
Go ahead, tell us, Kent.
She couldn't see. That was the problem.
I feel...
Not with those eyebrows. It was impossible.
I don't feel that I'm too picky, but there were some issues. For example,
Okay.
her toenails were so long.
Oh, no. How long were they?
Every time she walked on a hardwood floor, they clacked.
Like a dog or the raptors from Jurassic
Like
Park?
the raptors from Jurassic Park. There was even one right in the middle of the foot that would clack on the ground
That's
by
an
itself.
unnatural long toenail.
You know, I was
Kid,
willing
I
to
have
see
some
past
advice.
it, but it was a long toenail.
Listen, I have some advice for you.
Sure.
Keep this woman forever.
Wait, I don't understand.
just her
that.
toenails, Kent?
That's like a
If it-
magical gift.
If it were just... Why was that
like
be a
it was
magical
sent
gift?
from heaven.
Yeah.
Keep it.
If it were just that, I'd be fine.
Okay.
But there was something else.
What?
Every time she saw something or ate something or started the car, she would make the sound effect with her mouth.
What?
Yes, like
That would be so annoying.
click, vroom, beep, beep, beep.
What
Or-
cars even have backing up noises anymore?
She drove a delivery truck.
Ah, okay.
So, and nom, 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 slurp, slurp, slurp,
No.
every single
See,
day.
that would have grate on me. But I think...
Imagine
Kent,
kissing that, Joel.
No. Because
What did that sound?
she was
what did
your
that-
fiance.
What was that sound?
Yeah.
But Ken, is that it though?
That's not it.
Can I hear more about the kissing sound?
No, you can't.
Okay.
when you're older.
Okay. Oh,
But then we were introducing each other to each other's families and everything was going well. And then she said, hey, I'm ready to take some engagement pictures.
Okay.
And so we found a spot and it was great. And I said, well, what are you going to wear? She says, I found the perfect thing. And do you know what she wore?
What did she wear?
A red shirt that said Bazinga. Bazinga across the front.
A Big Bang Theory. That was the straw that broke the camel's
She
back.
wanted to do Big Bang Theory cosplay for our engagement pictures. And you know what? It
That was
wasn't the giant toenail like a raptor foot in the middle.
It wasn't the sound effects. It wasn't the bushy eyebrows.
Apparently the bushy eyebrows. It was the Big Bang Theory cosplay.
Well, sorry, Kent.
Well,
You
that's
know-
too bad. That's too bad.
It was heartbreaking, you know?
You're incredibly shallow. It's just amazing.
This is news.
It's amazing.
I only
Yeah.
wish there was some good news that happened during this break that we could then move on from this.
Yeah.
There
Is
was good news. So we did have
tell?
a month off, but we got some new patrons, and they are the coolest. So let me talk about them first because they're great. So we have one. It's Plot Twist Media.
Plot Twist Media, Kent. What's that?
Tell us about this. So it's Life on the Rocks, please. You remember that podcast?
I do very much so.
Yes, they're still very active on Facebook, on all social media channels. They've got a new project. This is Laura and Aaron.
Yes.
Plot Twist Media, and this show is going to be great. Go
Not
to
just shows.
shows, exactly.
There are multiple shows that they'll be doing, some very similar to the Life on the Rocks format, but they're going to do other formats as
Yeah,
well.
it's like interviews. Sometimes they'll be doing like voicemails to each other.
It's a good brand name, honestly. I like that. Plot Twist
It really
Media.
is, and
Yeah.
it's going to be great. Definitely listen to the show. They currently, you can go find it on iTunes and other sources, but go find it's the teaser pilot, which is about 40 minutes. It's out right now, and the actual show will be starting very soon. Laura and Aaron, thank you.
Thank you for being patrons.
Also, I do want to say this
Yeah.
to Kevin Hicks.
Yes, Lara's
husband. Very supportive. He taught me how to hug. Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
Happy birthday.
We know you're busy. It's tax season. He's an accountant.
Yeah.
Thank you for teaching Kent how to hug. So
Yeah.
he doesn't do it like a
benefited
way
from
that
it
we
a
can't
lot.
describe anymore.
Yeah.
I gave Jake and Ephraim a hug when he walked in tonight.
Did you?
I did. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, speaking of Aaron and Andy Oliverson, they're with the Park Hoppers unofficial Disneyland show. They are also new patrons as well.
Tier 1 patrons as well.
Been friends with these guys for years. They are the best. Thank you very much.
And we'd also like to thank some people who gave us some nice iTunes reviews that I'd like to read now. This one's from Captain Trigger. It says, I'm a relatively new listener and have been going through their backlogged episodes as fast as possible. The hosts are hilarious, and it is one of the few podcasts that can actually make me laugh so hard I have to rewind the episode because I will zone out from the laughter. We should put that on a shirt. You'll
blackout.
zone out from the laughter.
Not blackout, but zone out.
This podcast makes me laugh like an idiot when I'm
sure
sitting
how
in
that
my
happens.
truck. The people giving me weird looks could never understand unless they too listen to Baconsale. Do yourself a favor and give them a shot. You won't regret it.
Love it.
Thank you, Captain Trigger. Also from Straylight_new.
Stray Light.
Yeah, Straylight_new. Best pop culture podcast out there. Super creative and fun. I wouldn't be surprised if these guys blow up. Keep it up. I'm hoping he means be famous and not he's going to blow up the Bacon Cave.
Yeah, I'm a little worried.
Yeah, not
They're tough
one
times.
Not like one of Kent's exes blew us up.
Yeah.
One time for season finale.
Yeah.
From Synth, this says, perfection comes in many forms. Baconsale is a great example of podcasting perfection.
Wow.
It is my zen, my inner peace, my soulmate. This podcast is the thing dreams are made of. I am now complete.
Is this Kent's fiance before it was over?
Look, it's gonna be.
Synth. I like that name. And then finally from Crude Dutler, it's I have been listening to Baconsale for years and they just keep getting better. Each episode covers a different aspect of pop culture with their own unique take. There is at least one episode out there for everyone, and that's what's great about them. Their old episodes are still just as relevant as new episodes. If you like movies, music, TV, video games, fast food, soundtracks, Disney, Doctor Who, comic books, French fries, Marvel, hipster movies, psychology, etiquette, or sports, there is something in here for you.
What, Doctor Who and no supernatural in there?
Yeah. It says, well,
Drew,
sports
thanks
not
a
so
lot.
much, unless you like laughing at people who don't understand sports all that well.
Yeah,
So
that's about it.
yeah, that's about it. But thank you to everyone. If you get the time, if you feel so inclined, please go on iTunes, leave us a review. We love hearing from you guys.
5-star review, please.
What you
Exactly.
feel we would deserve. But thank you to everyone who's listening. We really do appreciate it. But that's not what we're talking about today.
We're back.
For the first time in season 6, Jacob, what are we talking about today?
Wow, 2020. That is crazy. It's time to go. What, no, we have to go back to 2019.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let's talk
Oh,
about. Let's
okay.
talk about last year.
2019-ish.
It seems so well for you.
Ish. Here we are again.
So every
Hello,
year,
friends.
we describe this. So we do a look back, and so we give our 5 worst, 5 best movies of last year as we lead into the next year, and we'll do some previews next week and whatnot. But I give my 5 worst and 5 best, and Joel will give his
5 worst and 5 best.
sort of. And
That's exactly what I do. There's no question on that part of it.
on
we clar-
that, but
do we need to
there's
clarify this
There's a
again
lot
for
of
new people?
parentheses around.
There's no parentheses.
So the 5 best
There's
and 5 worst.
definitely an asterisk.
He
You guys make a
saw-
big deal of this every year, and every year
Well, we need to explain just
the
in case.
listener go, no, it's very simple to explain.
When you
pick-
say Platoon is your
You
least
pick-
favorite movie of 2019.
That was a couple of years back. But the way it works is Kent is ranking his top 5, bottom 5 movies that were released in the calendar year of 2019.
Correct.
And I'm doing my top 5, bottom 5 of movies that I watched in 2019 for the first time.
So it's not that crazy. We've talked about it before. Just definitely want to give some context to everyone that's new out there today.
Because there definitely are some ones here that were not from 2019. In fact, I only have a few from 2019.
I know.
That's usually how it goes.
Every year. And Jake, feel free to jump in if you
will.
hated anything for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll mostly just be here to mock your choices.
We know.
And approve of them.
A new twist for 2020. He's going to approve of some of our choices.
I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready.
I don't know what to say.
All right,
I
who's
don't know what to
starting?
say.
I'm going to go first.
Please do, Betty Lee.
The 5th worst movie of 2019 is Hellboy.
Wait. The 5th worst?
Yes.
Okay.
Is the 2019
2019 Hellboy.
Wait, is it starting off?
Was it
with
because it was
profanity?
that bad, or because you were just disappointed because you like the Hellboy franchise?
It is that bad.
Okay.
Okay, let me give a synopsis real quick. Based on the graphic novels by Mike Mignola, Hellboy, or Heckboy, caught between the worlds of the supernatural and human, battle an ancient sorceress bent on revenge. This is directed by Neil Marshall, starring David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Yeah, Hopper from Stranger Things.
And Mila Jovovich.
Jovovich.
Is it Jovovich?
I think
Is
it's
it really?
Jovovich.
So
Jovovich.
now
I'm
you
an
asked,
evil witch.
You asked about the comparison between the last series, which, Joel, I know you're not the biggest fan of
They're
Hellboy
fine.
and Hellboy 2 Golden Army.
But you and I
really
are.
like Hellboy 2 Golden Army. Mm-hmm. So this is just bad on its own merit. I think the bad quality is it's highlighted by the movies that came before in the imagination, but this one was trying to be something
And
different.
this is a reboot. They're ignoring all previous incarnations. Which, by the way, why didn't they do a third movie?
So there was actually a script. Guillermo del Toro, who directed those other 2 movies, had a script, and he and the creator of his name is Mike Mignola. He created Heckboy. What do you want me
You
to
could say
Joel?
Hellboy because he comes from hell.
Should I call him Mats or Mott's? I'm not really sure. But so even like
The second one didn't make enough money, did it?
it made its money essentially, but there's a lot of money that went into it.
Yeah, it was a pricey movie.
But there was a script, and it's essentially creative differences. And Ron Perlman was like, I'm not going to do any of these movies unless my buddy Del Toro is involved, so I'm out as well. And so they just went with this. They totally rebooted it, 15 years later?
Yeah.
No, I guess it was 11
Can't
years
be that
after the
long.
last one.
Yeah.
The whole premise of this one is, hey, we're gritty, we're gory, we're naughty.
Because the other ones were PG-13.
But not really.
This was an R.
It was, though, in a way, because there's a lot of gore. Granted, it's cartoonish. And there's a lot of F-bombs, essentially. And so that's kind of what this movie is based on. And
Can we not call them F-bombs too close? Can we call them G-bombs maybe? Or
G-bombs?
or H-bombs? I don't know. I'm kidding.
I was like, now I'm trying
Let's
to
go
think
like
what
3
that
steps
stands
away
for.
from this.
But what it does is it takes like 3 different stories and tries to, like 3 different comic arcs, and tries to put them into one movie, and it's all over the place. It seems like 3 distinct movies that none of them quite work together. The world building is lazy. It doesn't really bother to like show what any character motivations are. It's all one dimensional, and the exposition, which is throughout the movie, is repeated throughout. I felt exhausted during this movie, and the levity was just terrible. Very little humor.
So there's not going to be another one of these, you think?
There won't be another one. This
bombed?
lost a lot of money.
Okay.
So I do want to read an audience review, because I have an audience review on every single one of these.
I'm ready. Go for it.
This is a long one, so get ready. Why do people hate this movie? It's super gory, funny, sexy in a superhero kind of way, and has Daniel Day Kim, albeit with a British accent, who gets naked and transforms into some sort of monster jaguar.
What?
The gore is relentless. So if that's not your thing, then don't watch this. 5 stars. Tommy.
Tommy Hilfiger.
Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah, right? So if it's not your thing, don't watch it.
Then people didn't.
Yeah, a monster jaguar. What more do you need to see? The effects were bad. The script is bad. Everything's bad in this movie. I'm so glad it won't be getting a sequel. This movie is tedious.
Okay.
Joel,
All
what's
right.
your number 5?
My number 5 is actually directed by Ethan Cohen. Well, no, excuse me, Eaton Cohen. My mistake. A lot of people make the mistake. It came out in 2018. It's Holmes and Watson.
Wait,
Remember that one?
Ethan Cohen is not
Oh,
Ethan
yeah.
Cohen.
No,
there's no
so-
relation.
so if you-
whatsoever.
You watched
remember-
this like the beginning of the year?
I still haven't seen this, by the way.
This actually came out
Well,
December.
why would you?
This came out December 25th, 2018. Worst Christmas present ever. But
true.
no, Ethan Cohen.
You ruined
gets mistaken for
Christmas.
Ethan Cohen, but he actually wrote the scripts for Tropic Thunder, Madagascar 2, Men in Black 3, Beavis and Butthead. Like that's his stuff. He's not one of the Cohen brothers, but I'm pretty sure wasn't it Bill Murray who thought he was being directed by Ethan Cohen, and it turned out to be Ethan Cohen and Garfield, or I can't remember.
Oh, that's too bad.
Anyway, synopsis. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly attempt to revive Sir Arthur Conan Doyle by making him roll over in his grave repeatedly. Oh, sorry, that was my synopsis.
Yeah, there you go.
This was like, it isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but that doesn't mean it was good. Like, I remember going into this because they said like people were walking out of this movie.
Yeah,
in
that's
the screenings.
hyperbole, right?
It was so bad that Sony tried, after they did some screenings and it tested very poorly, they tried to sell distribution rights to Netflix, but Netflix said no thank you.
Netflix buys everything.
Netflix said no thank you to
Wow.
Holmes and Watson. And in fact, Jacob, you brought this up on our last year's premiere episode, and you were like, "What about Holmes and Watson? Didn't that make your worst list?" And neither of us had seen it at the time.
Oh.
You were correct. This made my bottom 5, my number 5, and my worst
It
because
looks so bad.
it's okay. So I was like, okay, I'll look up some quotes to show you how bad the humor is. I went on IMDb. I looked in the quote section. There were like 8 quotes.
And you'd have to do them with very exaggerated accents, right?
And a lot of them are like kind of physical gags, like when he's holding a big, huge camera, like a 19-whatever's camera, 1910, 1920s. When was that, 1900s? Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Big old camera. He's like, I shall take a self-photograph. I've just invented it. And I'm like, it's just, you can't describe how dumb this movie is. Still, better than any Tyler Perry movie I've seen.
But did you see this year? Did you see any Tyler Perry movies?
No, they probably
did.
made the list otherwise.
I don't think he makes any more Medea movies. And I think that's your fault.
Thanks a lot, Joel.
You're welcome.
You ruined everything.
Ruined? But yes.
Or
this,
saved us. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
this really is just a terrible movie.
It's strange to me that Will Ferrell at this point in his career would be like, yeah, I'll make something that's probably terrible. Why even bother?
Well, apparently it's supposed to be this Will
like he'd be
Ferrell
carrying
and
right now.
Sacha Baron Cohen kind of like powerhouse comedy, but then turned into the buddy comedy of John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with this movie is they could not decide the level of humor intellect they were going for, and you can't really
Because it's
tell.
just juvenile, though, right?
But they try to do this highbrow satire a couple times, like kind of like, oh, we're saying this, but we're not really meaning this. That's what's funny. And then just stupid slapstick humor. Like they really, and you don't know, like you can't tell if Holmes is a genius or a buffoon because they make him both. And it doesn't make any sense. Like either he's not really doing all these amazing calculations or he is.
That sounds really nuanced, actually. Like, I'm going to have to see this movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Please
Sounds
do.
like there's some layers there.
It was nominated for 6 Razzies and won 4 of them, including Worst Picture. So Holmes and Watson is my number 5.
Yeesh.
Then I'll go on to my number 4. And this one is my only selection in my worst that comes from 2019. I'll give the synopsis. Humans, smoke, and darkness get in the way of giant monster fights, and Godzilla is body shamed by Kent and Jacob. It's Godzilla, King of Monsters.
Dude is fat. Chubby Godzilla.
You can't double down on that.
I did.
That's a chunky lizard, you know?
He did and I did. This is directed by Michael Dougherty, who directed Krampus. And
Number 4 worst?
number 4 worst, starring Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga, and Millie Bobby Brown.
It's not that bad.
It really was one of those where I've seen a number of Godzilla movies now.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not you body shaming him?
No, it was you guys. Go back and listen to
Have
the
there
Bacon
been
Bit.
any that were good? Any Godzilla movies
So
that
the
you
original
liked?
Gojira, you get kind of a little kind of like, oh, that's kind of
Yeah, the flair for the time.
It's like yeah, it's
essentially.
like oh,
Do you
look
like
at
the
look
Peter
what this movie
Jackson
created.
or no?
No, Peter Jackson.
That was King Kong.
Yeah.
Oh, King Kong.
I didn't
Yeah.
like that either.
Yeah, I'm getting that mixed up.
I was confused there for a second. Okay, so Hollywood, American Hollywood, has done 3 Godzilla movies in the 1998, 2014,
Yes.
and then this one in 2019. That's 3 strikes, America. You're out. Don't do Godzilla movies anymore. They don't work.
You're going to be real sad when Godzilla vs. Kong comes out at the end of this year.
I am.
Are you sad already?
This movie should have been cool action. It's all obscured action. The drama should have been there. Every time the humans were on the screen, I wanted to throw something at the
The
screen.
humans were the worst, yeah.
When they're chasing him.
Just to give you an
On this
idea,
giant aircraft
just
carrier.
watch the trailer. During the trailer, they're playing this soft, dark piano version of "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." Why?
Because Mothra shoots rainbows, probably.
no,
Yeah, that's
Probably.
They have a slogan: "One king to rule them all." Kent, as a Lord of the Rings fan,
I know,
that has
it,
to make
it drives
you
me
mad.
a little crazy.
And then there's the line, "This is Godzilla's world. We're just living in it." That belongs in a Fast and the Furious movie. It does not belong in a Godzilla movie.
So what you're trying to say is you're rooting for King Kong. That's
Yes,
fair to say.
Totally. Because it's just annoying how this is like, I don't know. Okay, so at the end of this film, they dedicated the movie to the original Godzilla suit performer. I'm not even going to try to say his name, but he was in the credits. and he died in 2017.
So-
I'm glad he was not around to see what this
Oh.
movie had become.
That's dark, Joel. That's dark.
I know you thought the action was obscured, but you have to appreciate seeing a modern version of Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah.
Great screensavers. Love them as screensavers.
Amazing
Amazing
screensavers.
GIFs. Yeah, let's do that as GIFs. Beautiful high definition GIFs everywhere.
But like people have been waiting to see those like fully CG'd out and everything instead
let
of
Japan
just,
do it. Japan will do it right.
Will they?
Because
Man in
we're not
suits.
doing a good job.
Not a good job. No.
Kamen Rider.
And there's listener, there is the Orca plot device, I'll call it, where they have this machine, the Orca, that can either calm the monsters, summon the monsters, or control the monsters. We're not sure which, but it will do one of those. And then characters suddenly decide they're going to just sacrifice themselves for no other reason than plot drama.
Yep.
There's no reason a certain character has to stay in a car, but they do because their character was irredeemable because it made them very stupid.
Yeah.
So Godzilla, King of Monsters.
I wish this were a 25-minute action movie, and that is it.
That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the humans.
Yes.
And just do the action.
That's their intent.
That's what they should do.
All right, my number 4 worst is Men in Black International. The Men in Black have always protected the Earth from the scum of the universe. In this new adventure, they tackle their biggest threat to date, a mole in the Men in Black organization.
What is this, 24? Just CTU?
Yeah, a mole in the organization.
This was the laziest script ever.
So lazy. So starring Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, directed by F. Gary Gray, who did Straight Outta Compton and the upcoming Mask movie. Did you guys ever play Mask? Toys?
Mask.
Is that real?
No, Mask, like Mask
Mask.
toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not Jim Carrey.
not Jim Carrey.
Eric Stoltz.
Not Eric
or
Stoltz.
Jim
No.
Carrey.
Kent, this one, you're saying this one is worse than your previous pick.
Yes.
Than Hellboy.
Yes.
This one was kind of vanilla to me. Like, I've kind of forgotten it existed, but I'm not angry at it.
I'm not as angry at Hellboy because at least there was some nightmarish visuals. This thing, it makes me feel like I need to fall asleep. Like, it felt like the longest movie of the year. And I saw Irishman with a full bladder, right? Like a 3.5
Is that the full
hour
title
movie.
of the movie? Irishman with the full bladder?
The Irishman with the full bladder.
You do know it was on Netflix and you could just pause it and go to the
I
bathroom.
went and saw it
right?
at the theater, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like it felt like Chris Hemsworth didn't care. Tessa Thompson, you know, you see these two in Thor Ragnarok and you think, what a fun pairing. They're not at all. It seems like they're sleepwalking through the movie, almost bored and distracted, and the humor falls flat. Like they have this little alien creature meant to just insert jokes.
By Kamal Nanjiani, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there's also like no emotional involvement in the characters. There's really Tessa Thompson, her character, for example, she wants to be a Man in Black, and she is within the first 5 minutes, and that's it. Like that's our anchor
is this,
point
Rise
for the
of
story.
Skywalker?
Yeah, exactly. Really? Are we starting out 2020 that way?
Yes!
Is that a
I'm not
victory?
holding punches anymore.
Yeah, I just felt this was so lifeless that I felt like I kind of wasted my time seeing this in the theater. Like it's not an absolute F, but I will never see this movie again.
I doubt I will
And
either.
I don't think they will ever get another sequel, maybe a reboot, possibly 12 years down the road. But yeah, what an awful movie.
TV series,
So I do have an audience review from this one.
please.
This movie was bomb AF. Chris Hemsworth makes this 100% worth watching it. Dang, what a dad. But I rated this a 4.5 because the ending sucked. I was expecting a kiss, and you know what happened? No kiss. I want another movie. 4.5 stars, Devin C.
Oh, Devon C. I have no idea
He
what you
wanted a
like.
kiss.
I know a Devon C. That makes me really nervous.
Wait, did he want a kiss on the screen or did he want a kiss from his date he went to go see the
Both.
movie with? You know what happened? No kiss. Smooth AF.
Yeah,
Movie sucked.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of confusing.
My number 3 is called Serenity. So this is the
Kent,
the
how dare you?
This is where I'm cheating. It's the from 2006. It's a film adaptation of the canceled Firefly series.
You liar.
I am
Don't
so
you
lying.
dare.
Yeah, I would never do that to
Hashtag
you.
not my serenity.
Serenity came out at the beginning of the year. Was probably
This was
delayed.
on all the worst movie lists.
No one liked this one.
I hate to include it here. I really do because I loved this movie
Because it was so bad?
because it was so bad.
This is Anne Hathaway,
Matthew McConaughey
which should be a good start.
Let me
I heard
explain.
it's just them making out for 2 hours.
and other people.
Devon C should see this movie. Lots of kiss.
Yeah, he would
well-
love this one.
I'll tell you that Kathy M loved it. She says, awesome movie. Wow, kept you with the letter U thinking all through it. Of course, Matthew was a girl's dream in the movie. Gave me nice dreams. Oh, yeah.
No.
5 stars.
Oh, it's just weird.
Let me give you the plot synopsis.
All right.
And I am not giving any spoilers because everyone needs to see this movie.
I'm not
and I
seeing this
refuse.
movie.
Please.
I'm not seeing this movie. Hashtag not my serenity.
A fishing boat captain juggles facing his mysterious past and finding himself ensnared in a reality where nothing is as it seems.
I saw this trailer.
Is there a supernatural element to this, or is it like it's supposed to be suspense or
There's
thriller
a twist.
or what?
There is one of the biggest twists.
I'm going to read
I've
the plot
ever
synopsis
seen.
right now.
Please
Kent.
don't ruin it for yourself. This
I'm
is
not
like,
watching this movie.
We watched Tiptoes for the first time this last year, right?
I'm gonna go watch it.
You
tonight.
did.
This matches Tiptoes as far as weirdness. So he's looking for this giant fish, and that is his goal throughout the movie.
Like a Moby Dick analogy?
Yeah, it's like a Moby Dick, but it's just a giant tuna. Like a giant tuna, probably 6-foot tuna.
Does he talk like an old sea captain? Right.
No, he talks like Matthew McConaughey, who's probably under the influence in this movie a little bit.
All right.
And one cryptic character finds him and he says, because Matthew McConaughey is kind of being hired by his ex-wife to kill her husband. That's all I'm going to say. And so he says, this character comes up and says, don't kill her husband. If you don't, I will give you a fish finder that will help you find your 6-foot tuna. And that is one of the big plot cruxes. Like that's his big decision. Either commit murder.
Man,
terrible.
2020 is so cool with all these futuristic devices like a fish finder.
For a specific fish.
Yeah, you'll find your fish.
This feels like a Black Mirror episode written by kid YouTubers. And you're going to know what I'm talking about if you ever see this movie. But the problem is, I couldn't look away. I was incredulous during this movie, especially where it goes. I want to watch this with large groups, and so everyone can suffer and
Let's
just
pause
scratch
the
their
show so I
heads.
can just watch this.
Will you please watch it? And the acting
How
is...
R is this?
Oh, it's R. It will give you nice dreams.
No.
It's
Well, it
it's-
worked for What's Her Bucket. Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
No, but it's crazy. Matthew
Kathy M.
McConaughey.
She has a name.
Kathy M. Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway are, I almost combined their names there, are Oscar winners. And they're in this movie, and the acting is so atrocious. But it's almost on purpose to serve
like-
the plot.
Their acting is super bad too.
Yeah, I feel like they should have their awards removed entirely.
Oh, wouldn't that be terrible if that was the world we lived in, where the Academy could be like,
Retroactive pulling
no,
of the awards.
sorry, Cuba Gooding Jr., give that back.
It's like we saw what you've done since then.
This is legitimately the biggest head scratcher of the year.
But it's number 3.
But it's number 3. I almost put it as number 5 because I do enjoy this the most of my list.
Okay.
But it's bad. So what's your number 3?
My number 3 had a budget of $2.5 million, and it got $27,000 back.
Oh, no.
Wow.
It was made in 1989.
we go.
We watched it. We already talked about it. It's Teen Witch.
Oh.
Supersonic, idiotic, disconnected, not respected. Who would ever really want to go and top that? Top that.
Top that.
Top that.
Top that.
I don't really give it. Never mind, I'm going to do it. So if you didn't listen to our Season of the Witch episode that we did last year, we had to watch a couple of these witch movies, and they were all bad. Well, almost all bad. This one, synopsis, I'm going to read just like the IMDb summary says. High school misfit Louise, at a loss for romance, discovers magical abilities, but the teenage witch finds that she cannot conjure herself true love. So what?
So what?
So this was one where they started out, and we talked about this before. I'm going to do a really brief synopsis, but this is the one where it started out kind of a female version of Teen Wolf. It's like let's do kind of a female version of that movie that did so well, but then it was up against competition like Field of Dreams and Pet Sematary, and
actual films. Is that what you
actual
mean?
films,
Right?
And it got lost. Like just no one wanted to watch it, and it's also a terrible movie from the acting to the story to the special effects to the extended musical numbers. Like I Like Boys, remember that song?
Yes.
I literally thought about that for days and shuddered.
Yeah.
Like the clip you showed me, I was like, oh.
I rewatched it just in prep for this show, and the whole time
you
I was
really?
like,
Just to,
I hope
like-
no one walks by and sees my screen right now because I'm so embarrassed by this. But this one is interesting because I find it interesting, Ken, that you just spent a while saying, I hated Serenity. Everyone should see it.
Yes.
Because this is one of the worst movies I think everyone should see. I think everyone should watch Teen Witch at least once, not because it's a good use of your time, because just to see it, just see how crazy this movie really is. It's a jaw-dropping experience to watch this movie.
I have to
and
say,
see how
With
bad it is.
terrible morality tells in here.
Yes!
The lesson is awful.
It's like the opposite of Grease.
Yes.
I had the same experience with the pitching love, catching faith. Like at the time, I was like,
That was one for your Torture Jake
Yeah, the Torture
promotion.
Jake. Yeah, but now that some time has passed and I've like recovered from the trauma, it's like, oh, other people should experience this trauma because you've never seen anything like it.
Baconsale.
There's nothing
Yeah.
that bad.
But I mean, there's that whole rap sequence when a girl is enchanted to rap with another guy who's supposed to be cool, but he's like a 30-year-old guy wearing like a Hawaiian shirt and rolled up pants, and it's like you're supposed to think he's the cool guy.
He was cool back then.
But this is one that you need to see, and it's terrible. And I'm sorry that I made you guys watch it because I did push that one on the list. But
I'm never
yeah, you
watching
did.
it. Not after that
yeah,
clip.
you need to see it, Jacob.
Oh, I was so uncomfortable just from the clip.
I'm glad I've seen it.
Yeah. So Teen Witch is my number 3. My number 2 is from 2013. So we're moving up in the world here.
Getting more relevant.
This one came out on February
Years are hard.
14th, 2013. Worst Valentine's Day gift ever. It's Beautiful Creatures. So another one from our wish list.
Really? Worst of?
Oh my gosh, I hated
hated
this
this
movie.
one.
Wow.
So I'm going to read the synopsis, but I'm going to read it in the voice that Alden Ehrenreich
oh, no.
did.
Oh, that's mean.
Because the whole time he's this country bumpkin in
Yeah.
Georgia. I
Are you
think it
doing
is.
it Han Solo or
No,
that guy?
this is how he speaks in the movie.
Okay, should I take off my headphones?
Ethan longs to escape his small southern town. He meets a mysterious girl named Lena. Together, they uncover dark secrets about their respective families, their history, and their town.
Joel, I will pay you $10 if you do that voice the rest of this episode.
Oh, well, people will turn it off
Will
so
you
quick.
read me the screenplay? in that voice?
$20.
That's the whole time, though. Like, I've seen Alden Ehrenreich play Han Solo in Solo.
right.
And he talked normal. And so I don't think he's Southern. I'm pretty sure he's not Southern, but he was trying real hard.
It's like a British person trying to do a Southern accent.
It was really bad.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, that's one of my pet peeves. Actually, bad accents do kind of grind on my ears.
Right.
But the Southern accent, when everyone is doing a bad Southern accent at the same time, it's like a choir of demons. Like
Choir of demons.
choir of demons
Satan.
scraping through my ears. Because I like everyone from Alden Ehrenreich to Jeremy Irons, Emma Thompson, all of them were trying to do these accents, and it wasn't working. It was
Not even
bad.
Emmy Rossum.
Emmy Rossum was one of the few parts of this movie when I went, she's okay.
Yeah.
And that's why I couldn't rate this one lower, because I absolutely hated this movie. But it actually, there's some visual moments when I'm like, that was a cool look. That was a cool effect.
I remember that. It's like being really plain and bland with a couple of interesting moments.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it's a witch movie, or excuse me, a caster movie. They call themselves casters
Yeah.
because the witch is a fancy of. I just want to read part of the synopsis here. This is spoiler alert, maybe? I don't know. She causes the moon to disappear so it cannot claim her for the dark. What?
'Cause
What does that even mean?
When it gets dark.
It's a euphemism, Joel.
Yeah. No, the whole thing is that you get to the certain point when you're 16 and you get turned into either a good witch or a bad witch. But males can choose, but females can't. And is she going to be
That's a
turned
little
dark?
bigoted.
That's what I thought. And this was based on a book. I mean, I heard it was based on a book, but it basically feels like they made it up as they went along. This
Yeah.
whole movie.
All right.
It was so many cliches.
You hated
and
this so much. Oh my gosh.
I did. But this was actually,
What is this, number 2, 3?
This was number 2. Budget of 60 million, made 60 million. So which
Oh, okay.
means they didn't really turn a profit because you
No,
need to
they
make at
did
least
not.
double. But this is not. I'm glad this is never going to get any sort of sequel.
Yeah, oh, never,
So,
ever.
Yeah. Beautiful
All right,
creatures.
To describe
Beautiful
my
creatures.
number 2, a tribe of cats called the Jellicles must decide yearly which one will ascend to the Heaviside layer and come back to a new Jellicle life.
Remember when you said you were going to describe your number 2?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I think that was actually Cinema's
A
number
bunch
2.
of cats go to a talent show. One of them dies. The one that doesn't have a home and no one likes gets killed,
but
to
it's
go live again.
beautiful after she has her snot nosed.
Such a nice
solo.
moment.
All right.
Cats. My goodness. So this one, and Joel and I, we described this in a bacon bit, but it feels like let's imagine a table.
Is this bad enough to watch?
Almost, because it's on the table so bad
It starts
it's good.
out that way.
So it's so bad it's good. You're like, yes, this is a beautiful nightmare. And then, but there's the cats on the table, and they're pushing the glass, and it falls off the so bad it's good table to just bad.
And then it's like,
because
oh.
after 15, 20 minutes, you go, there's another hour at least. But what happens? Nothing. Just introductory songs.
Yeah.
I do want everyone to watch this movie to share our nightmares. Jake, you need to see this movie.
You just said no, so I don't.
Please.
Well, I don't want to share your nightmares.
I went into this movie, and like I said, we said this on the Bacon Bit, but for those who didn't listen, I was hopeful because I've wanted to see Cats because it's such a popular play, and I love Broadway plays, I love musicals.
Sure.
And I thought, well, you know what? Even if it looks weird, because I saw the trailer and I was like, that looks weird. But I'm like, even if it looks weird, there'll be some beautiful music.
And that's just it. If there was good music, like it would have kept your toes tapping. The pacing would have
How
been
is there
helped.
not good music?
Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser. That's the song.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah.
It's terrible.
It's we can't even. That's all you need to hear. That's all you need to hear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if there was good music, it would have kept my attention. Mm-hmm. But it didn't. Like, this feels like it almost could be a cult classic, but like a classic for cults. Like cults.
Cat worshipping
that
cults.
torture you. Yeah. Cat cults.
Yes.
Is Tom Hooper going to stop getting money after this?
Maybe.
He was the director, yes.
This was more disturbing than Midsummer and Lighthouse, which I saw this year.
2 horrific movies.
Yes, absolutely. I gave Cats a tier 1 in our pet show. They are now tier 2 because of this movie. But Samantha Rose Johnson said, the railroad cat can't have my children, like, holy crap, with 3 Ps.
Can't have my children?
Yeah, that's what it says. That thick boy.
No.
Swoon. 5 stars. Once again, that railroad cat can't have my children, like, holy crap. That thick boy. Swoon.
I like the Railway
Really?
Cat song,
Read it
actually.
twice?
The Railway Cat was one of the few times in the movie when I'm like, hey, I'm enjoying myself again.
Didn't it feel like a little delusion?
Uh-huh.
Like you're under the influence a little bit.
Was that the whole movie?
Pretty much, well,
No,
especially
it's
the part when
mostly
Taylor
like
Swift
you're on
comes
a
in and
downer
sprinkles
because it's so
catnip.
boring.
Yeah. Taylor Swift comes in and pours sleepy potion all over everybody, and including the audience. It's terrible.
Time for honorable mentions.
Yes.
Ooh.
Honorable mentions for me.
This is the worst. Honorable mention of the worst.
Worst. The Dead Don't Die. Started off with a really fun zombie concept. Bill Murray, Adam Driver as 2 cops trying to stop a zombie infestation.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good.
Could be cool. Awful. Really, way too meta. I hated it. Ma, I'm sorry. It's
You didn't
bad.
like Ma?
I hated it.
That's
so
the horror
much.
movie, right?
Yeah, with Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
Probably getting her Oscar taken away as well. Brightburn. I was just really apathetic toward this one. Had to round up my top. Or
That was in your
bottom
least
10.
anticipated.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, you had a chip for that one anyway.
Captain Marvel.
Oh, wow.
I just thought it was super dull. Like,
Yeah.
did you guys remember it came out this last year or 1989? Who knows? And Charlie's Angels to round out that top.
Wow.
That top 5 there.
Okay. My list is longer, so I'll go fast. And it's from all over the years, so just deal with it. I'm
I
going
don't
to say,
think I can.
I'm going to say Smallfoot, if you guys remember that one. Terrible animation.
Was that 2019?
2018. Dark Phoenix, that was 2019. Pompoko, Cats, MASH from 1970, Troll from 1986, Practical Magic from 1998, The Woods from 2006. Apparently, I didn't like any of the witch movies we watched. Aladdin from 2019, and Sorry, Wrong Number from 1948.
Cats is in your honorable mentions.
It is.
I thought I stole your number, basically.
Do you know why I put in my honorable mentions? Because I went back and watched clips from the musical, and the musical is okay. It's not as bad as the movie, and I figured out
We're talking
why.
about the film, though.
I know. But the thing is, like, the movie, like, it kind of softened my feelings towards the movie because I was like, you know what? The Broadway production looks like it might be okay. But I figured out what it was, too, Kent. It was those stupid tails. Those stupid CGI tails.
Yeah, that had a mind of their own.
Because, like, they're distracting from what's going on in the movie. It's like their tails moving unnaturally. You're like, wait, I don't like the screen stuff, what's happening right now.
I don't understand. So wouldn't that make the movie worse? Like, if you're like, you appreciate the film or the play, and then you're like...
Basically, watching the clips of the play softened my overall feelings towards Cats. But it would make my top 10 worst.
Okay.
But just not...
But then, if that's honorable mentions, what's the number 1?
Yeah.
My number 1 is one we've talked about on this show before. It's Bewitched, 2005.
Oh, geez.
My top 3 were all stupid witch movies that we had to watch for that stupid episode.
It was a great episode.
It was a good episode, but
That's
we
a
had to watch
terrible
these
movie.
movies.
That's really a terrible movie.
But Bewitched was directed by Nora Ephron, who did Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, Mixed Nuts, which is a terrible movie, but yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about this on the Witch Show, but just so you know, this plot synopsis is they're making a movie about actors playing in Bewitched, but then real Bewitched starts happening, but it's not real because it's not the same.
Plausible.
It's terrible. This stars Will Ferrell and Nicole Kidman doing a very weird Marilyn Monroe type breathy voice the entire time. This is how she talks the whole time.
It was them trying to force chemistry is the thing I remember as being
and
so
they
terrible
had
in that movie.
none.
I mean, none.
This is
It was
worse
like
than Holmes
negative.
and Watson.
And you can
Yes.
see it.
Okay.
Yes, because Holmes and Watson, I don't know. I expected it to be dumb. I don't know what I
That
expected.
actually
for this
gives
one.
me hope for Holmes and Watson.
It, like I said, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Not good, but still bad. But this one had it had an ensemble cast like Michael Caine, Jason Schwartzman, Kristen Chenoweth, Stephen Colbert's in this, David Alan Grier, Steve Carell. But I watched this movie and I just kept trying to figure out who greenlit this idea where it's not the movie, but it is the movie, but it's about the TV show about the movie. The way they put it together, it's so confusing to the point where you're like, wait, is this really happening? There's a whole sequence at the end. Spoiler alert for Bewitched. There's a scene at the end when Daryl, played by Will Ferrell, he has this hallucination of Uncle Arthur from the TV show, played by Steve Carell. But then Uncle Arthur helps him get to where he needs to go and helps him. And I'm like, wait, so is Uncle Arthur real from the TV show or is he not? Movie never cares.
This feels really clever, actually.
No. How dare you? In fact, this bombed at this did not do well at the box office. It almost made its money. It almost made a profit. But I wanted to point out that it only got I looked on Wikipedia, the source of all knowledge and truth. And 2 Australian critics, Margaret Pomeranz and David Stratton, were the only ones to give the film a positive review on Wikipedia.
That's okay.
They pulled it out. Obviously Australian bias because of Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. And this earned Will Ferrell and Nicole Kidman a Golden Raspberry for Worst Screen Couple, which they deserved. The film was also nominated for Worst Director, Worst Actor, Worst Screenplay, Worst Remake or Sequel. I cannot say how much I hated this movie.
You have actually.
But I don't think anyone should see this movie. I think this should be forgotten that it was ever made. Go back and watch the TV series.
And it has.
So much better.
Goodness, Joel, I've never heard such venom spew from
I didn't
your
bring
mouth.
up Venom this year. I saw that last year. There you go. Kent, what's your number one worst hated movie?
The worst movie of 2019. My most hated movie is The Lion King.
Whoa.
After the murder of his father, a young lion prince flees his kingdom only to learn the true meaning of responsibility and bravery.
Wait, Kent.
I thought it was something when you put Aladdin in your honorable mentions, Joel.
Yeah.
Now we've got a Lion King
Are
number
you
one.
saying the animated Lion King or the animated Lion King?
The animated Lion King,
the one,
actually.
the animated one that's up for an animated Oscar, or the one that won the animated Oscar?
Actually, well, when we made it, it was fully live action.
That's so
Probably.
ridiculous. They kept saying it's a live action remake, and then it gets nominated for Best Animated Feature.
This movie starts out, and you feel like you're watching Planet Earth. You see a little mouse crawl up, and you're like, wow, this looks amazing. We finally get to see Pride Rock in real life. Why do we need this movie? It doesn't matter. It looks so great. And then it is literally The Lion King, but with less life. This goes for realism, loses all creativity. I feel like this is lost in pop culture already. No one's talking about The Lion King.
Yeah.
Did it make over $1 billion? Absolutely. The color and energy throughout this movie is muted. The songs are muted. Be prepared.
They cut completely, didn't they?
It became a monologue.
Oh.
A spoken monologue, and I will never forgive this movie for it. And the strength of Lion King, the 1994 masterpiece, was never the story. The story's good, but it's also kind of Hamlet. It is how it feels, looks, and sounds.
Yeah.
Everything together. It's a magical experience, and they try to replicate it, and it felt like a lifeless husk.
But Disney doesn't care. They made their money.
They made their money.
They made their money. They're going to keep churning these things out.
Yeah.
These pale remakes.
And granted, it seems like we're getting something new with Mulan. They're trying to do a different take on the story.
That looks actually okay. That looks good.
That's the first one I've seen where I'm like, oh, that looks interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And I have complained when I'm like, why didn't they just follow the story? They have a good thing. But Lion King shows that is a huge mistake.
When it's a shot-for-shot Gus Van Sant remake?
Exactly. Oh, man, I hated this. Clearly, I hated this movie so much.
That's funny.
But do you know who didn't?
Kathy
My mom.
M again?
Sajida M.
Your mom.
I excellent with the character of Scar. Scar is a great companion character to make story become interest to support the Ritter.
Oh my gosh.
He make the story had conflict.
Oh, well, he did.
Scar had cunning, tattler, and bad behavior. The behavior of Scar
Tattler?
make the story to be colorful. By the way, I believe that Disney is kind of infiltrating Rotten Tomatoes because that is one of 10 reviews that had the exact same verbiage.
Oh, wow.
10 audience reviews with that exact
if they
same
infiltrated,
verbiage.
wouldn't they try to do it a little better than that?
You'd hope so. But spammers.
So, Ken,
Which
your
you
number
can get.
one is The Lifeless King?
The Lifeless King, indeed.
Oh, burn. That's good.
I just wonder how long it will take them to redo everything in animation that they have made now in live action.
It's going to take a while.
Hate it.
Yeah.
You guys haven't seen it yet, have you?
No, my
No.
kids, my poor kids. So
I've seen clips.
we got Disney
Yeah.
Plus for Christmas, actually. And we got Disney Plus, and my kids were talking about the other day, we're looking at a pizza movie night. They're like, oh, is the live action Lion King on there? I'm like, nope, not out yet.
It's rated R. You can't watch it.
Nope. Not without. No, can't do it. Sorry,
I got it
kids.
for free with Verizon. If you guys want to log in,
No,
let
we're
me
good.
know.
We're good. Don't tell my kids that.
Okay. So it's time to move on. We're going to switch from the worst to the best, and we're going
Some
to move.
positivity.
Let's get happy.
And like Baconsale goes, we're going to go a little faster through the good points.
Let's rush through the good stuff.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go number 5 because I'm just going to tick off Kent because it's from 2019, which is good.
Can I guess?
It's a DC movie,
Huh?
which is good
Why would that make me mad?
because it's Shazam.
Oh, doesn't make me mad.
Yeah, that's not
What?
going to make him mad.
I like Shazam.
He liked it, yeah.
I don't love it. I like it though.
Made my top 5
Yeah. Why do you think I'm? Is it because it's the new flavor?
because
The new funny flavor?
Was it
of
really
DC?
2019? Because it feels so much longer ago.
Yeah.
But it's trendy.
Kinda like your
People
Marvel
like
comment.
it. It's
Yeah.
memed. It's that whole thing where they're flossing and things like that. I know that drives you nuts.
Yeah.
And other DC movies came out this year, right?
No, that was the only one. Joker.
Oh, Joker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Brightburn.
Aquaman was last year.
Does Brightburn
Yeah,
count?
Aquaman was last
Yeah,
year.
that's right. Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shazam was one where I actually was impressed with it the first time I saw it. But the reason it made my list was because I've watched it a few times since then.
Oh, does it
Really?
get better?
It's still enjoyable.
I've seen it twice now.
Yeah,
I liked it both
I
times.
still enjoy it. Oh, by the way, Shazam synopsis: a newly fostered young boy in search of his mother instead finds unexpected superpowers and soon gains a powerful enemy. Directed by David F. Sandberg, who did Lights Out and Annabelle Creation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that kind of seems weird. But starring Asher Angel as Billy Batson and Zachary Levi as an older Billy Bastion, Mark Strong as the villain. This came out in April. It does feel like longer. I'm not going to say, and this is the part where I'm going to tick off Kent, because I'm not going to say that Shazam is the best DC movie ever, but I am going to say this is the most enjoyable DC movie I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Because, I say enjoyable, not like best like quality, but just
Joe, you keep setting this up and letting me down because you haven't made Kent upset yet.
No, you haven't. Would you say this is a good entry point for, like, if you were a child or having your kids watch a DC movie, would this be good? Or is it too much horror?
it's intense. Like I would definitely say,
But the fact that it has elements of
10
Big,
and up.
for example.
it's a superhero version of Big,
Right.
And I think it's every kid's fantasy, honestly, to suddenly turn into a grown-up
Superman.
superhero.
Yeah.
And who doesn't love Zachary Levi? He's
Lightning
great.
in my hands.
Lightning from my hands, lightning from my hands. But the sad thing is actually this is the lowest grossing film of the DC extended universe.
Yeah.
It was still a box office success, still did well, but it's the lowest grossing. I don't understand,
Is
honestly.
there sequel talk?
Yes.
I don't understand how Aquaman made more money than this. Because Aquaman was
That's
a
all-
far inferior
Aquaman
movie.
plays to international audiences, and
Yeah.
it's a big budget spectacle.
Exactly.
I have
It's
an idea, though.
spectacle, it's branding,
And
it's
Zachary
marketing.
Levi, although we love him.
This thing was low budget.
He's not a
Shazam was
star.
low budget, yeah.
What?
He's probably a
Tangled?
star-ish now. No, still, he doesn't carry that kind of weight.
I love Zachary Levi.
Yeah, so do I.
But I
And
have an
sequel,
idea.
Sequel coming in 2
I
years.
want to pitch
Black Adam.
pitch meeting. You guys ready for my pitch meeting?
Can we do this now? A show?
Aquaman made $1 billion.
Yeah.
Right? Joker made $1 billion. Mm-hmm. Joker versus Aquaman. Next movie.
Did Joker...
$2 billion.
Joker didn't really make that much, did it?
Made
Yes.
$1 billion. Yeah.
You're kidding.
It's
On
the
a
highest grossing
55
R-rated movie.
It made $1 billion?
It made $1
$55 million budget.
That's insane.
Is that crazy?
That's insane. I
Yeah.
had no idea it
Save
made
it for
that
our
much
Joker
money.
show.
Are you?
Actually,
I
that
feel
would
like
probably
you're
be a
still
good idea.
lying to me.
No.
No, it's
For
true.
real.
Oh my god.
And I saw it, actually really enjoyed it. But I think that'd be a great
I haven't
mesh of
seen
characters.
it. I'm
Ken, wouldn't you
afraid
love
of
that?
it.
Seeing Joaquin Phoenix going up against, just blanked on his name.
Jason Momoa?
Jason Momoa.
Well, they're going to do a sequel now for sure.
pummel him.
Kent, you're going to be so mad. There's no way a sequel won't happen.
I know. Please don't make the
know, it's gonna be
sequel.
weird. By the way, this was okay. So jump back to Shazam. A sequel is set for April 1st, 2022. And
Well, so actually, his villain is getting the movie before him. Just right
Black
before.
Adam, that's right.
Black Adam starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yes.
And then 2 months later, I believe, Shazam 2.
yeah,
So they're, even though it didn't make a ton of money, they're thankfully putting a lot of stock into something that really did work.
and I think this is a good vehicle for younger kids who may not want the darker version of Superman or Batman and things like that.
Right.
Henry Cavill was supposed to make an appearance in this movie, by the way, but he couldn't get his scheduling worked out.
Well, let's be
dang it,
honest.
Henry Cavill, get your scheduling act together. You ruined Justice League because of it, and then you ruined this movie. We didn't ruin this movie. It's actually a good movie, but
He ruined Justice League.
His
He's not-
mustache did.
His name's not Joss Whedon.
his mustache ruined it. Mm-hmm. That was the opening shot, man. There you go. So Shazam, my number 5. Sorry, we're going fast, right, Jacob?
That's right.
My number 5 is not a joke, but I put it here because sometimes when I put these lists together, and I'm not going to go fast, I can't. You know I can't. Because sometimes I need to put the movies that just
I'll go fast, Jacob. He can go slow.
I get so happy about, and they're not Oscar winners.
What on earth are you talking about?
My number 5
Godzilla.
is Crawl.
Kroll?
Crawl.
Kroll.
A young woman
With the glaive.
1983.
while attempting
something.
to save her father during a Category 5 hurricane.
Oh, that one.
Finds herself trapped in a flooding house and must fight for her life against alligators.
This has got what's her bucket from
Scodelario.
Yeah, from Maze
Runner.
Runner. That's right.
And Barry Pepper, directed by Alexandra Aja and he directed High Tension and Mirrors.
Kent, I love you. Your choices are weird.
It's so weird.
What on earth?
I saw this
Crawl?
movie. I didn't review this for like a screening or anything like that. I went and just saw it one night, and it was perfect. It was like raining outside, and this whole movie is taking place during a hurricane.
Is this actually a good movie, or is this?
I
like
watched the trailer.
This
Guilty pleasure.
is beautiful trash because this is straight up.
I don't know what that means.
Trash B movie. You know what trash means? Like trash.
a B
you can
monster
enjoy.
movie.
Guilty pleasure?
It is a creature feature. Like
It's a B movie.
and you can't expect anything good. But man,
It's a bunch of alligators trying to eat a girl.
exactly. I was smiling the entire.
I am
time.
shocked.
Because of the alligators trying to eat a girl.
Well,
That's what makes you smile.
there were other things, but that is the plot of
Joel,
the movie.
make it noted somewhere that we now know what makes Kent smile.
We got crying dad stuff in movies makes him cry, and alligators eating girls makes him smile.
Just smile though. So I do love this movie. Ironically, I also love it unironically. Like
I can't believe this made your top 5.
I was totally into it. The
That's so
plot
weird.
is bonkers. It's super simple, but the pacing, the tension, it's pitch
I
perfect.
cannot wait to show this to the children.
Yeah. So watch this movie on a rainy night because it really will give like the element. What you see is what you get. It's like hurricanes, flooding. There's fast moving alligators, and that's it.
Much better than the slow-moving alligators,
It
right?
feels.
I know, those are the worst.
It feels like a roller coaster, like the
Of love?
rush of a roller coaster.
Slow-moving alligators on a roller coaster.
Oh my goodness!
That's my band's name in college.
And it is cheesy beyond belief, but like cheese is always good. Add more cheese, and it's always
Blue
gonna be
cheese
fun.
isn't good.
But that's moldy.
Yeah.
This is like fresh
Yeah,
cheese.
It is good.
Well, okay.
Save it for our cheese show.
Save it for the cheese
Oh my
tearing
gosh, do
show.
we have a
We should do a
cheese show?
cheese tearing show.
I want a
I
cheese
feel
show.
sick, 'cause
I'm
there's
not
some
even
cheese-
It'd be
kidding.
like the pumpkin spice one.
Yes.
Do you guys
What
like
would you
sharp
taste
cheddar stuff like that? You got like sharp
On
cheese.
some-
Extra.
What are we talking
extra
about?
Sharp,
Show.
white, extra sharp.
We're going fast.
Okay, so the audience review I have on this one is from Mandy P, and she says,
I really want that show. I'm not kidding.
"Oh dear, a total of 7 characters and some alligators. Very boring." I was like, 1 star.
If it would have been 8 characters,
Yeah,
probably
8
been higher.
characters.
What was
she
her
would have
name?
given it 2 stars. Mandy P.
Well, at least Mandy knows what she's talking about.
This movie's awesome, and it's stupid, but it's awesome.
I'm shocked.
I know. My number 4 is Joker. From Crawl to Joker.
They should do a crossover of Crawl and Joker.
Oh man, see, I think the alligators would run away from Joker because Joaquin Phoenix in this role. So in Gotham City, mentally troubled comedian Arthur Fleck is disregarded and mistreated by society. He then embarks on a downward spiral of revolution and bloody crime. This path brings him face to face with his alter ego, the Joker.
No, I did see this one
Very
but
recently.
It was in 2020, or it was in 2020, so it can't go on my list. But
You and your
I actually
technicalities.
think this is a good pick because this movie surprised me of how well made it was.
I've been really curious as to what you think
Well, who's
because
the production company?
this is Warner Brothers
Or studio
DC,
or whatever they're
directed by
under.
Todd Phillips.
Who did The Hangover?
Well, I guess it has to be Warner Brothers. Yeah, because they own DC. Yeah.
And I was really curious as to what you think, Joel, because it's grim and
It's
it makes
very
you
grim.
feel grimy.
Yeah, it's kind of this dirty city, grimy era of New York, even
Right.
though it's Gotham kind
And,
of thing.
you know,
Is it grimy or is it like heavy and like,
No, just grimy.
grimy. Like
Because
okay,
there's a lot of implied violence in this movie.
yes, that's what I was going to say. Is a lot of the violence is well, they do show some things on screen, but most of it is kind of just this dread that something is going to happen rather than stuff actually happening.
So I talked about fast moving alligators. This feels like a slow motion shark attack. This is like that scene in Jaws 3 when Jaws is coming toward the underwater facility.
with the bad 3D.
And you know Jaws is coming. When I was 8, I was terrified of that.
Well, he's coming
scene.
right towards you.
So this feels like that because Joaquin Phoenix is so unhinged in this role, or I guess his character Arthur Fleck is so unhinged. You fear him
tomato.
as a person. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it feels like you know something's going to go wrong, and you're just waiting for it to happen.
One thing I really enjoyed about this too, Kent, is that the Joker is an unreliable narrator. So there are parts of this movie you don't
narrates?
know. Well, he doesn't narrate, but like it's kind of his story and his point of view, and he has some fantasy sequences, but they're not really distinguished from reality. So by the end, you start wondering, wait, did that really happen? Did that really happen? Oh my gosh! Like what?
It's what makes the movie stand out.
Because then you can debate about it, and no one's giving definitive answers. So you can have these endless debates about: did this person die? Did they not die? Did this really happen? Did it not happen?
I love this movie, but Brandon did not love this movie. He gave it a half star.
What did Brandon say?
It was so bad. He sucks at acting. He makes himself suck so bad. No punctuation.
Man, he's a poet.
Yeah, he's really good. He should have written the script.
Brandon the poet.
And this is a slow burn movie. It's not crazy until the last 20 minutes, and then it's absolutely insane. But wow, this is a game changer.
Good pick.
And clearly making $1 billion, it will change a lot of what Warner Brothers will do with these kind of
I
movies.
can't wait till you hate this franchise because of how many they've made.
Please don't make a sequel. Please don't.
It'll happen.
Joker 3D.
Oh, actually, if he walks slowly towards an
camera.
underwater facility,
Yeah.
Joseph?
My number 4. Actually, Ken, we're going kind of a mirror image here. It's kind of nice because mine is about madness as well.
Okay.
And I want to ask you guys a question.
Ready.
Have you guys ever woken up from a dream and thought it really happened, even after you've woken up?
Yeah.
Like you have that feeling of like, oh man, that happened. And it takes you a while to shake that off.
Sure. It's like the end of every Baconsale episode.
Now imagine not being able to shake it off.
Okay.
That's my pick. It's actually the oldest movie I have in my top 5. It's from 2011, and it's Take Shelter.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me about
I
this.
don't remember this.
It's Michael Shannon, right?
Michael Shannon. So this is the synopsis is plagued by a series of apocalyptic visions. A young husband and father questions whether to shelter his family from a coming storm or from himself. Directed by Jeff Nichols, and this, like I said, came out in 2011. It didn't do well at the box office. This is definitely a sleeper hit.
Yeah.
But this one, it preys on one of my biggest fears of not knowing the difference between what's real and what's not. Because he keeps having these horrific dreams about an apocalyptic storm coming his way. And whenever he wakes up, he kind of acts differently around a person that was in the dream and kind of shuts them out. And he keeps being obsessive over building this shelter to protect his family. But nothing is happening in real life.
So he's like a modern day Noah?
That's what it goes for that for a little bit. Like kind of this angle of like it could be a prophetic vision.
Or
right?
like 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Kind of, but not as like you're in his head more than the other people's head.
Interesting.
Okay.
So you start questioning what's real and what's not. And the ending, I'm not going to give it away. It left me scratching my head a bit, but it was one of those endings once again where it was not explicitly stated. So people have these forums out there discussing what could happen and what didn't happen. And I finally found an interpretation that resonated with me and made me like the movie enough to put it on my number 4. Because I got to the end and I was like, what?
And
I
it
was
stayed
bugged.
with you, I remember. Because you talked about this for a couple days.
I haven't stopped thinking about it.
Huh.
Every time you haven't seen this, apparently.
I haven't.
No, and I haven't stopped thinking about this movie since I saw it, because every now and then something will come up and I'll just remember this movie and think about it, which is why I had to make my top, because I really...
Cool. Okay.
It's a slow movie, and it's a very kind of calm drama for the longest time. And Michael Shannon, you cannot take your eyes off him, because he's just... He does this really good job of being sympathetic, where you can be like, he could be telling the truth, or he could be completely crazy. I don't know. So,
Michael
yeah.
Shannon.
Not a
in
fan of
nutshell.
the person, but like his characters.
Yeah, he does a good job acting.
Yes.
So yeah, Take Shelter. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It is rated R, so it's on ClearPlay DVD and VidAngel if that's your thing. But overall, very little to edit out. I think it's mostly language, and but very well done. So
Cool.
Take Shelter. Bouncing back to my number 3. This one actually was Kent's 4th best from last season's premiere. It's 8th Grade.
Oh, so good. Oh, you waited till this year to see it?
I did. I saw it earlier this year. Which, here's the thing. I know I saw it. I'm pretty sure I saw it on VidAngel, but I couldn't find it there anymore because this is rated R for language and other situations. But this is one synopsis. An introverted teenage girl tries to survive the last week of her disastrous 8th grade year before leaving to start high school. And this is directed by Bo Burnham. It's his first movie he's ever directed, because he's a stand-up comic.
Way to go, Bo.
I've seen his work. A lot of it is not family friendly, but he has some really funny bits. And so I was like, okay, he's funny, but then he can actually direct a movie? I did not know that. And if I could describe this movie in one word, it would be genuine.
Not Gucci?
Gucci.
Gucci.
It will start with G. But because it could have been this kind of like raunchy teen comedy type thing where these impossible situations have up of, oh man, the biggest party ever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Instead, it's just this girl trying to survive 8th grade. And
You relate to her.
well, truth be told, 8th grade was actually really rough for me. It was probably my worst year of schooling.
Hold on.
And so I related to
King
a lot
Joey had a rough year in school?
I was Joe by then.
Impossible.
Okay.
But I was going to say, I related to many parts of this movie. And it was kind of weird how I was able to do that, even as, a grown man relating to this character of this 8th grade girl.
Exactly.
But she does a great job of being so vulnerable and awkward and yet just adorable. I just want to give Elsie Fisher a hug. And then her dad, once again, I love.
great.
I love Josh Hamilton.
Josh Hamilton, yeah.
He was refreshingly sincere. Like, he wasn't this cardboard cutout type dad. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. One thing I wanted to point out is that Burnham cast Fisher because he said, quote, "She was the only one who came to the audition and felt like a shy kid pretending to be confident. Everyone else felt like a confident kid pretending to be shy."
Oh, wow.
And that's why I think Elsie Fisher, I hope she does more and goes on to great things because she's really good in this. And if you haven't seen 8th Grade, well worth the watch.
Absolutely see it. One of the best of the decade.
Yeah.
Decade.
Yes.
Wow.
Comedies.
Kent. Your turn.
My number 3 is Parasite.
You're number 3.
Seriously, this again? Parasite?
You're number 3.
Crawl and then Parasite.
Did you think
I was
this is
guessing
number
this is
1
going to
for
be your
sure?
number 1 based on how you've talked about it.
It's
and the poster on your wall and the costume you're wearing now. And the fact you renamed one of your children Parasite.
Parasite.
Really thought that was too far.
It's Parasite. Like
Yes.
It's yeah.
My number 3, you could just put them in a big casserole, and they're all great to me. My top 3.
Okay.
So, an unemployed poor family take peculiar interest in the wealthy and glamorous Park family as they ingratiate themselves into their lives and get entangled in an unexpected incident. Directed by Bong Joon-ho, who did Snowpiercer and The Host.
I like Snowpiercer.
You don't like The Host
I don't
very
like
much.
The Host.
I like The Host.
I like both of those.
I like Creature Features.
And
as
it's a
evidence.
Korean director.
Yeah, South Korean, not North Korean, because they make their own movies.
They probably do.
Yeah.
Like North Korean ripoffs. Yeah.
We
don't do crawl. We do fast moving alligator. Why are they?
Why are they Russian? They are Russian.
Why are they Russian? Communism.
Can you talk about fast moving alligators on roller
fast
coasters?
moving alligators on roller coasters?
That's what Koreans sound like.
My North Korean accent is terrible.
Yeah, this movie is brilliant. I don't want to speak for you, Joel,
Please do.
but yeah,
don't stop
I
now.
know sometimes you'll have movie parties where you'll recommend a movie that people may not have seen.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new one for you.
Parasite.
You haven't seen it yet.
I'm looking it up.
not.
And yet there is some and very little inappropriate stuff here.
It's a soft R?
It's a soft R. But there's some violence, but there's also some gratuitous stuff just spliced in there.
Easily editable.
Very.
Okay.
This movie starts as something like it's 2 tonally different movies. And as I said, it's a poor family, basically like...
Is there a poor boy from a poor family?
Yes.
Wow, the Metacritic score is really good. 96.
Yeah. I mean, you just
100.
have to take my word for it. It's number 3.
Ba-dum-bum.
That's out of 48 reviews. It's got a 96 out of 100.
So they find this family, and each one of these poor family members infiltrate the family and take different jobs. And this rich family has no idea that this is a family now being their service, their staff, essentially. And so it just becomes a story where you're just like, man, you guys are grimy. But then halfway through the movie, something happens that changes everything. And it goes from a great, very well-written study on class differences and becomes a thriller. But not a horror movie, just something, and it's very small actions, but it's something that you cannot look away from. This is so beautifully filmed. And thematically, I could go on for about 30 minutes about how Bong Joon-ho, like he rises the camera as you go to the rich part. It's almost like it shows like the rich house and then it shows the poor house. And it almost seems like they're on top of each other.
Like Downton Abbey.
A little bit. Because like the camera pans down or looks down on the poor people. And then the camera will be from a lower angle to the rich people. It's brilliant. Want to say more, but I'm not going to.
Can I read you some of the Parents Guide quotes here?
Yeah, of course, because that's my favorite
Keep
thing.
it family friendly.
A man and a woman are seen making the preliminaries on a sofa.
What does that even mean?
I know. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
That's what we call it in North Korea.
There is
Preliminaries.
there is also some flirting between a married couple.
Ooh. How many people found that interesting? Does it
Yeah,
say?
no, this part doesn't do that.
So Bong Joon-ho, he's never been all that subtle about his filmmaking because he's made like Snowpiercer about class differences and it's in your face. This one, even though it's actually about that, it feels so earned. And just like I said, the way it's filmed, the crispness of the story, it's just over 2 hours, maybe 2 hours, 10 minutes.
It's a Christmas story?
This should be seen. It's a Christmas story.
Isn't that what you said?
Crispness.
It's crispness.
tight.
It's got a Chris in it.
Christmas stories. I'll watch them.
Yes, this is a Christmas story.
Parasite.
Watch this with your family at Christmas. Watch Parasite.
Yeah.
Okay.
But definitely, this is a wholehearted recommendation, except for Olyesa A says, my husband described it best. Slow stubbing of a big toe. 1 star. She hated it.
How do you slow stub your toe?
You know, it's not a fast-moving
She doesn't-
alligator,
she
but a
doesn't
slow
get how
stubbing
stubbing works.
of a big toe.
Okay.
My number
You mean
two?
pressing?
No, stubbing. I got to read what they say. My number two is How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
Wow.
Yeah.
That went all the way up to number 2.
Yeah.
When it was such a mediocre movie.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I'm sorry.
I know you can't.
I
help
couldn't
it.
resist.
It's like, remember that positivity? So when Hiccup discovers Toothless isn't the only Night Fury, he must seek the hidden world, a secret dragon utopia, before a hired tyrant named Grimmel finds it first. So
When did this come out?
this came out in February.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've been hanging on to this one for a long time. It's been my favorite movie of the year for most of the year.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You've had a crush on this franchise since the beginning, though.
Oh, well, actually, it took me a while to get into the first How to Train Your Dragon, but as soon as I saw 2, I went back and revisited, and each of these movies make me cry.
Wow.
I saw this one probably 3 times in the theater, granted it with kids and whatnot.
Was it able to make you smile though?
Cry. It's every emotion. For me, this
So there were
alligators
lots
who-
of there were alligators
Well,
trying to
they're
eat.
dragons killing
well,
girls.
they're dragons quickly chasing women.
Okay, so I'm glad we could get
Isn't
some
that name of the local band around here?
Just imagine dragons chasing women.
Okay. Now I get the smiling.
So this is not as strong as How to Train Your Dragon 2 for me. But what it does is it completes a trilogy in the best way possible. It ages with the characters. It's not like it just shows like
They did a really good job of that. I'll admit that.
yeah, and it completes this theme of love. And I would like to do a whole thesis about this, but it's like the love of the hunt, love of a significant other, family, discovery, community. And love means something different for everyone. And sometimes in this movie, as it shows, love can hold you back, like Hiccup trying to hold Toothless back from moving forward. And so by the end, it's such an emotional rise that it got me every single time I watched this movie. And it's beautiful. Like the animation for me,
How many times have you seen this?
3 times.
Oh.
Almost can't be beat. John Powell, who does the score, has done for every single one of these movies.
But if it's not on Disney
beautiful.
Plus, how am I going to watch it?
Really, that's all you can
point.
watch now?
Fair point.
Yeah, that's all you can watch.
Yeah,
But
Baby Yoda's there, so
yeah, and I never would have thought this would have been like this series would have been like near top of my animated favorites. But as I said, like I feel like this is hyperbole, one of my favorite trilogies of all time.
Wow.
Probably top 10 trilogies of all time. I think it's
It
so
is
perfectly
hyperbole?
told. It feels like that, but for me, that's true.
Interesting.
Yes.
Better. Wait. You're saying better than Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Well,
6?
they only made one of the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But Braden C gave it a half star. He
dare
said,
he?
"Piece of trash, comma, villain should win and all dragons all die, comma. This is a better ending to your garbage saga." 1.5 stars. Jeez, Braden.
Well, that would have been pretty dark and daring.
I think you would have been into that actually. Ken.
Yeah, I might have.
Yeah, that vision had actually come to life. Yeah.
Yeah. My number 2, it's Avengers Endgame. I was going to do some kind of teaser, but it's Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, no jokes on this one.
No, because
Wait, this is a joke,
that
right?
was a letdown.
No. Well, here's the joke. You want to hear the real joke?
Yeah.
So this is Avengers Endgame is
I thought he was going to say your list.
Crawl.
Like,
Avengers
wow,
Endgame
jeez.
is the highest grossing movie of all time. Not adjusted for inflation. Adjusted for inflation,
Released 8 times to
it's
do so,
only
but
number
it's fine.
5. Yeah, the re-release was kind of messy, but I think this movie deserves to be the
Have an
highest
asterisk,
grossing movie of
you're
all
right.
time because it had
culmination.
The culmination of 20. It's the 23rd movie.
Wait,
in
do you
the-
like this one or Infinity War more?
I see them as one.
Okay.
But this is the joke part, not the joke part. But this is funny to me. So this movie, being the highest grossing movie of all time, is still it cost less to make than Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Wow.
Avengers: Age of Ultron was more expensive than than Endgame. Excuse me.
How's that possible?
I don't
With all
know.
those contracts and the...
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, you know how many people are in this movie alone, and how much money it's going to cost? But I don't know. It was weird. So yes, if you don't know what Avengers Endgame, I don't know what you've been doing for the last little while because this was probably the biggest movie of the entire year.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Which is why it's my number 2. Because I got to give it the respect it deserves. Like I mentioned in our action movie, I think it was number 1 in my action movie, Decade Dance that we did. But this one I feel was a satisfying ending to the Infinity Saga. Like you see all the movies, and I kept doing it. I was like, man, Avengers, they did a great job of making all these moving parts, all these different movies come together. Oh man, Civil War, they added even more characters and they were still able to get it to work. Man, Infinity War, they added a lot more people. Endgame, even more people, and yet they still kept the story cohesive. So I wanted to give props to the Russo brothers who directed You, Me, and Dupree.
And they clearly haven't gone crazy. Honestly, I want to give them props for that.
Yes.
Like,
I think this was in their wheelhouse. They weren't like Joss Whedon where they took on more than they could chew.
Right, because Age of Ultron. Oof.
But it's weird because the Russo brothers mostly did television.
Yeah.
Like they were directing TV shows and then they decided to do this. And I think maybe that's why they did it well, because TV shows, you have a whole like history of the show that comes with it. So every episode you're just building on that history. And so I thought that was a good experience for them to be able to do this. So like I said, this is the culmination of 22 movies that came before it. I think they nailed it. I think they stuck.
So
the
this
landing.
is like a Lifetime Achievement Award.
It is, but also I really enjoyed it. Like I laughed a lot more than I thought I was going to. I did get emotional a number of times.
Cute.
And it just, this movie really worked for me. And so I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the action sequences were solid. I thought the stakes were high enough. I know you're not going to agree with a lot of that, Kent.
No.
But the truth is, I like how we're doing the themes now. We both don't agree with our number twos.
Yeah.
But I feel like this was the movie I was hoping they were going to build to. I'm not as excited for the rest.
Well, it
Like,
feels
whatever comes after this.
It feels like proper closure,
It does.
right?
So this feels like to me like
Considering the news we've heard of the new movies and the direction they're going to take a lot of it.
yeah.
it honestly makes
feels
sense though to
lackluster.
like feel like suspicious of what's coming again now.
Yeah.
because that's how it was in the beginning. You know,
Right.
it was like, well, the Hulk, you know, that
Well,
left us.
Thor and Captain America were bland.
Yeah,
and-
yeah, yeah. It was like, oh, is this going to work? You know,
But then
But with the X-Men coming in,
who knows?
Yeah.
But it feels like we've completed the story and then they're going to start stretching out more. And that's
Yes.
whenever I get kind of like, I don't know about this. So yeah, number 2, Avengers Endgame. Honorable mentions?
honorable mentions.
I'll go first on these ones. Some of these are actually from 2019, guys. Marriage Story made my honorable mentions.
Nice.
Klaus, Jojo Rabbit. Those are all from 2019. The Book of Eli actually made my honorable mentions. I finally saw that one. Free Solo, The Crucible from 1996. That one witch
didn't see
witch
that
movie.
till now?
No, I saw the play. I never saw the movie.
oh wow.
That's so one witch movie made in here. The African Queen back in 1951.
Really? Okay.
That's a good movie.
Spider-Man Far From Home, 2019. A movie called High and Low. If you haven't seen High and Low, it's a 1963
Never seen
Japanese drama.
Did you say Japanese drama?
Yes, and
Why did this happen?
it is amazingly fascinating. Like I saw it on a Cinefix video.
I'm
or
always
something like
watching Japanese dramas from 1963. I don't know how I missed
that.
this.
They're much better than the Godzilla movies from back then. Jacob, you'll be happy about this. Kent, maybe you too. Rob Roy made my honorable mentions.
Really?
I finally watched Rob Roy based on your recommendation.
Oh, I finally
liked it
won
that much?
something.
Huh?
Is it because it had an effective villain and everything, or is it just
because
Right.
he was
Tim
what's his
Roth.
name? Tim Roth. Yes,
Yeah.
I was going to say Eli Roth, and I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Tim Roth was disgusting in that movie,
Yeah, he was.
and that made me
Ugh.
hate him. So then you're only strong as your villain.
I literally would shudder at him because when I watched that as a kid, it was too effective.
Yeah, The Cat Returns and The Secret World of Arietti made my list because I watched them for the first time.
You like
last
The
year.
Cat Returns that much?
I did.
Ugh.
Green Book,
The Cat Returns.
Yeah, it's
and then
know
finally
what we're
the first
talking about.
movie I watched this year, Alpha, made my honorable mentions.
yeah, Alpha. I
good,
love
good,
Alpha.
Yeah. So there you go.
I'm surprised Far From Home didn't make it higher or into your top 5.
It probably would be top 10. In fact, if you want to see my top 10, you can go to theformer786.blogspot.com. Woohoo!
Nice plug.
Where I occasionally update
We do
my
that
blog.
at the end of the show, but that is
I want to throw it in here though, because no one ever listens to the end of the show.
What's the site again?
Theformer786.blogspot.com.
Holding on to that blog spot.
I
the
like
blog I
your
had for
honorable
years.
mention list.
But I've been doing. Thank you. I've been doing these top 10 lists on my blog since 2009. I want to
Yeah.
say, and so I have like this whole history, and I'm like, I'll keep that up every year. That's the only time I ever update it. But
Yeah.
there you go.
My honorable mentions are The Irishman, Marriage Story, 1917, Ford v Ferrari, John Wick 3, Doctor Sleep, which was actually really good, and Shazam.
I've seen it. Oh, Shazam made your own mentions.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Apparently I hated it, though.
I thought you did
Yeah, it
because
kept
it was
surprising me, Joel. I'm like, he liked it.
I
Why
still-
are you still talking about this? He liked it.
in my head. He hated it because it was fun.
No, it was, hey, I think I've proven that I kind of have a heart sometimes.
Sometimes
yeah,
you do.
only when there's
Season
girls
6
getting eaten by alligators.
Not eaten, just chased.
Sorry,
Season
Chase.
6 has made you grow, Kent.
Yeah.
Wait, I've seen actually most of those, so wow, I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, 1917. Jake, have you seen this yet?
No, but I want
it's
to.
out this week. It's great. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
watch that. And Dr. Sleep, I'm
It's being
very
released
excited
this
for you to
week?
watch. Yes.
Oh,
But my number one.
did you get a screener for it?
Yes.
Ooh.
But see it in the theater. Like, definitely see this in theater. Don't wait till video or anything. My number one, we're not going to agree, but I
Okay.
really
Wait, Jacob, do you want to make a prediction?
I'm just trying to
Devoured
think of
this
another
movie.
Parasite reference type thing.
I was convinced it was Parasite. And so now I'm confused. I don't even know what it's going to be. And you mentioned The Irishman.
Crawl,
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Parasite.
It's so crap.
Oh, crap. I think I
Yep.
know what it is. Is it Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
No, I just talked to you. Ah.
It feels like I'm going to a fancy steak dinner, and they're like, oh, have you watched all these crappy summer blockbusters? This came out in like June or July. And I'm like, yeah. And they've been really lackluster. This year was really awful for a long time. And then I saw this movie, all 2 hours and 40 minutes. And they said, do you want to dwell on it? Do you want to take some time in all the Tarantino-ness of this movie?
Directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino. And I said, I'm not sure. And it took me an hour to really go, okay. And then I couldn't get enough. So let me give you the description.
Jacob, you know
That
what's
sounds
funny?
like a terrible meal.
Jacob, you know
actually.
what's funny about this, by the way? So I just watched this a couple
We've been
days
talking
ago.
about it the past couple days.
And I came to Kent just be like, man, I didn't like it that much. Like I think 2.5 stars.
This
maybe.
is what pushed him over. Joel.
And that's I know he's doing this now just to spite me.
No. In fact, I thought he's not going to be happy.
All right, go ahead.
A faded television actor and his stunt double strive to achieve fame and success in the film industry during the final years of Hollywood's golden age in 1969 Los Angeles. So Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. So Tarantino's whole filmography.
Wait, is it biopic at all, or is it just era?
Think of it this
Era
way. You know those
with revisionist history.
Yes, like they take real people and some real situations and then kind of mix it up with a bunch of fiction.
Why did the golden age end exactly? It seems like Hollywood
Because
kept going.
a lot of people say because of the Manson murders.
Yes. So the film actually builds because we know what happens in reality, and then the friendship between the aging actor and the stuntman is kind of like a means to the end of that story.
So these are two
and that is the
fictional
culmination
characters.
of what we talked about.
These are two fictional characters surrounded by real people played by other people. So like
Yes.
like Sharon Tate, like Charles
Right.
Manson, like Bruce Lee. I'm trying to think of all the people that are in there.
Right.
But Steve McQueen.
Tarantino, his whole filmography has been about how much movies have cultivated who he is. And he's a nut job, like, don't get me wrong, but every one of his movies have been references to other movies. And this one is like a reference to the history of film and his own movies, because you can't remove the Tarantino from any one of his works now. And even like he'll try to subvert where you would expect him to go. Sometimes things get crazy until they kind of just end with that scene, and it's not as bloody as you may imagine.
It's pretty bloody.
That scene is.
Oh,
But there are other things that where he is just kind of guiding you and saying, yeah, you know who I am, and so just go along for the ride. I think the performances in this movie are great. They take their time to get there.
I feel bad.
About.
I feel bad that I came to you just unloading on how much I don't like this movie, and this was your number one
this
pick.
This is meant to be a divisive movie. Like you said when we were talking, you'd cut 40 minutes off this movie.
I said
right?
an hour.
An hour.
I see you can get an hour out of this movie.
I think you could probably cut 20 minutes off of it, but for me, I love director's cuts, and I like seeing.
Well, that's clearly what it is. That's
I like
what it
seeing,
sounds like.
I like seeing the meat. I like just seeing, hey, Tarantino, just do your thing, make a movie. Like Irishman is 3.5 hours. I indulged in that movie. So 2
that
hours,
feels more
40
like an
minutes.
epic kind of long history movie.
But that's what
though.
this felt like to me. Like, I agree, Brad Pitt driving through the old streets of LA, listening to full
a
songs
half
in his
hour.
car. I was like, this is indulgent, but he loves this era so much. I'm willing to just soak into this world. And granted, halfway through, it does change everything when you kind of realize Leonardo DiCaprio is struggling with being an aging actor. And I feel like that's where it becomes a Tarantino movie, because DiCaprio gets a job with a director who kind of saves his career, which is what Tarantino has done for many Hollywood has-beens.
Right.
This movie is not one I'll watch a ton,
Right.
but one that has stayed with me and actually took the top spot from How to Train Your Dragon,
That
which
is
makes me
insane.
sad.
That is insane.
Isn't that crazy?
Your list has kind of just blown my mind.
I
right
know.
It's
now.
a crazy list.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bash on it because I want to live in positivity here.
Let's bash on it a little.
No, but I
Well,
just
it's a divisive movie. Like, we can agree with
what
that.
I came to Kent and said was that someone should have been on set telling Quentin Tarantino no. Just no, you can't really show. And this was my review of it. Was
Yeah.
that you can't show extended scenes from the fake movie within your movie. Like he literally showed like 15 minutes of a movie within the movie that had no real bearing on the story that they couldn't have done in like 2 minutes.
Well, this is the trouble. No one's telling him no, probably.
But as you know,
Yeah.
exactly.
I like directors more than I like actors. Like, that is who I...
And I probably like actors more than directors.
Right. And so when an auteur can get a blank check and make their movie, I'm like, make it. I will watch the whole thing. If this was
Tyler
longer...
Perry?
I said auteur. Well, he does have a vision, so I guess he could be considered in some ways an auteur. Like I said, this is a divisive movie.
Right.
I may have been the only one who loved it. According to Kayla S., who says, this movie was so bad, it ruined my family Christmas. She signed up to IMDb.
You're not alone, Kayla.
Just to write that review.
What day was that written? Does it have a date on it? Is it
It's
Christmas
written
Day?
in like August, which is weird.
That is weird.
She knew it would ruin Christmas.
Now, I do want to say that there were parts of this movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Jacob, there were parts that I really enjoyed. As a whole, no, I wasn't a fan. But there were segments in there when I'm like, that
That sounds
is a
about
movie I
right,
wanted. And it's kind of true to form with Tarantino.
Yes.
He's known for parts of his movies. The whole movie sometimes not as much.
He meanders.
Yes.
Right.
All right. My number one should not be a surprise because I've talked about it on the show probably too
Jake,
much.
can you guess what it is? Because I know, so I want...
Remember, you have to pick from every movie ever made that I may have seen for the first time last year.
Jeez. It's
Here's
too
a hint. It
confusing
came
like
out.
that.
It came out in 2018.
It did.
2018.
Yes.
How do you know?
I know you so well.
You've shocked me so much. I feel like I don't know you. Jacob, it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Of course.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking Spider-Man. And I was like, no, that wasn't your honorable mentions.
This one was one where,
Yeah.
I never gave a 5-star review on my first viewing. And I remember going to Venom, and then the post-credits sequence was like a scene from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I was like, is there something wrong with the projector? Like, what is going on with this animation? And then I remember when my wife and my daughters went to, I think it was a bridal shower or a baby shower, and me and my boys went to go see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in theaters. And it was such a fun experience. Like, it was a very positive, everyone was enjoying it experience. And I was like, wow, that was a lot of fun. So I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 because I thought
For showing.
that's the
Okay.
highest I can give for
Yeah.
showing. Then I watched it a second time, and I watched it a third time, and I watched it a fourth time. And
Jeez.
I bought this movie because we have watched it so many times now, and I love it. This is a 5-star movie for me.
There you go.
This bumped up after subsequent viewing.
You said
Wow.
this was the best Spider-Man film. that has come
It's
out.
my new favorite. It's my
Because
new
you're a
favorite
fan
film.
of the Tom Holland ones for some reason,
I do like Tom Holland ones.
and this one transcends that for you.
Because this
Even
one is kind of-
Spider-Man 2.
This is maybe it's the culmination thing because this is once again kind of a culmination of all those other Spider-Man
Right,
movies.
because it's a reference and
They make these references to other things
yeah.
in Spider-Man and Spider-Verses and things like that. If you don't know, this is the story of multiple Miles Morales becoming Spider-Man in one universe, but there are other universes that exist.
How much longer are we waiting for this sequel?
April 8th, 2022. I just had it.
It's a long time.
But this really was like, this didn't crack Ken's top 5 last year. It was in his honorable mentions. But this was my number 2 pick for the best action movie during our decade dance. But the more I thought about it, I was like, this needs to be my number 1.
It's great.
Well, number 1 here of this one, yeah. But so, yeah. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And
Yep.
this is one that I've said on the other show, too. You can literally throw this on and almost anyone in the room will enjoy it, whether they're
Yeah.
old or young, Spider-Man fans or not Spider-Man fans. This is a
But
fun one.
like we
Very cool.
said, this made with Shazam. This made about the same numbers. This wasn't a very profitable
This is
Spider-Man
I
movie.
believe this is the lowest grossing Spider-Man film.
Is it the animation that drives people away? Because Spider-Man is a profitable character.
Well, it's just a different approach.
It could be because it's not one in sequence. It's not related to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It kind of came on
It's a
its own.
one-off.
But the animation is what makes it great.
Yes.
Like it's a very good story, but the way it's told is so well done. It's like hearing a wonderful story told by someone with a beautiful voice.
right.
So it's just
I
like-
totally agree with that.
Because you could have a good story, but if the person botches the reading, then it's not going to be great. But
Yeah.
they did such a good job with this. I hope there's good sequels because they're going to make them. I would like this one just to be a standalone, but there's so many
Phil
opportunities.
Lord and Chris Miller. I think there will be.
And I do enjoy them, although Cloudy with the Chance Meatballs 2 is kind of awful.
Oh no.
So that's that's my kind of worry.
They didn't direct that one though.
Did they step away from that one?
I don't know. Let's say yes.
Okay, let's say yes.
yes, for sure.
So there you go. There are our top 5 and our bottom 5.
So Jake, you talked about catching love and pitching faith.
Yeah.
Is that the worst? Do you
They
have a
stepped away.
best?
They stepped away. It was Cody Cameron that directed Cloudy with the Chance Meatballs 2.
Okay, few.
Yes. Pitching Love, Catching Faith.
Was that the worst movie?
It's not just, it's the worst movie I saw in 2019. It's the worst movie I saw in 2018.
It was that
So
long
you-
of a movie?
it's the
How
worst
long was this movie?
It's the worst movie I've probably ever seen.
Really?
That's
Wait,
amazing.
more than Boo to a Medea or Boo a Medea Halloween?
That would be like eating ice cream after this, Joel.
That's a horrific thought.
Go watch it.
No, not after that
So,
endorsement.
Pitching Love, Catching Faith is a horrific play on an imitation of humanity that should be endured by no living human being.
And you did a full review on
harsh
this
words.
on Patreon.
I did.
On our Patreon page, it's there.
did,
So you can go see that. If you're a patron, you can go check out his glowing review.
Yep, it's there.
And then best, Jacob, do you have, any favorite from this last year?
2019 favorite.
We've talked about a lot of them, but
I don't know if there's a specific single movie. There's a couple movies that you guys didn't give much love to that I really enjoyed this year.
Cats?
First was No,
You almost did say it though.
No, the trailer. I couldn't even finish the trailer for that. I was like, ugh. Well, we watched Alita earlier in this year, and I ended up liking that better than I thought I would.
Right.
And it actually stayed with me a little bit, which surprised me because it was so goofy.
I'm never watching
and I
it.
encouraged
Just watch it.
I'm never watching it.
It's totally worth watching.
I'm never watching it.
Really? Why?
You'll
robot show.
never watch it?
I'm never watching that show because the stupid robot battle that we had
Gotta
on
get over that
Baconsale.
stubbornness. Season 6.
Alita's pretty good. Also, John Wick 3 came out this year, and that was
For what it is, it's super fun.
For what it is, And honestly, the fact that that's going to continue for some reason amuses me.
Right.
And it shouldn't, but it does amuse me. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm still in.
So it seems like there's no A movies for you this year.
I don't think there was.
Would you call it a weak year?
All I would have to do is look at your lists to know that was the case.
No, actually, by the end of the year, and I
haven't seen a lot of these.
I recommend you go to Netflix has a ton of great movies.
Netflix did really good this year.
I mean, I haven't gone to Irishman. I haven't done Once Upon a Hollywood.
Marriage Story as well.
I haven't done How to Train Your Dragon 3.
Yeah.
I haven't done Marriage Story.
You haven't done Crawl.
Nope.
Okay.
So there's some heavy hitters I'm missing there.
We want to thank you for listening to our top 5 and bottom 5, or bottom 5 and top 5, however you want to phrase it. We want to know yours. What were your favorite and least favorite movies that you watched this year or that came out this year? It's up to you.
No matter what
Whether
rules you want to
play by Joel
follow.
rules or Ken rules. But we really sincerely thank you for listening to Baconsale. We really do appreciate you, and we appreciate our patrons as well.
Yes, speaking of patrons, we would like to thank our wonderful, supportive patrons. From the I Am the Listener category, we have Sean Sandquist, Jennifer Kilkowski, Colton Cook, Chris Drott, Infendo Radio Steve Peacock, Brayton Winserton, Spencer Larson, Crew Dutler, Terry Finley, Stephen Ross, and Adrian Gray. From our beloved Bacon Council, we have Nicole D. Hale, Chris Anderson, Ryan Farron, Matt Motz, Mudro, and Reverse Listener. All of you wonderful patrons, we are so grateful to you, and other patrons that are not named in that list. And you listeners, we're grateful for you as well.
Listeners. Did we go plural? In season 6?
Season 6, we have more than one?
I don't know.
We'll see.
Nah, I don't know. Let's check the numbers.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to Bacon Council, by the way. We'll be having our planning meeting with you where we get together this month. So look forward to that.
Yep, that's going to be coming soon, and we're grateful for that.
But if you want to find me, you can find me at 76Joel on Twitter, or you can find me performing with Quickwits. They perform every Saturday night at the Mid-Bell Performing Arts Center. For more details, go to qwcomedy.com or go to the Quickwits Facebook page.
If you want to find me on Twitter or Instagram, it's at Kenny3DD. If you want to read my movie reviews, it's ShowtimeShowdown.com.
You can find me on Twitter at Jacob A. Rogers. You can also find me... Nope, that's the only place you can find me. That's it. That's it. There's nowhere else.
There's nowhere else.
But you
don't look for me.
Go find Baconsale on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook and on tpublic.com/Baconsale and on Patreon, like you just heard.
Yeah.
So we hope you have enjoyed this introduction to season 6. And remember, if you want to see Kent smiling this year, all you have to do is find some alligators chasing girls.
We're gritty. We're gory. We're naughty.
Dude is fat. Chubby Godzilla.
You can't double down on that. I did.
That's a chunky lizard, you know?
He did and I did.
Mothra shoots rainbows, probably.
No!
Yeah.
Probably.
This is Godzilla's world. We're just living in it.
The ending sucked. I was expecting a kiss, and you know what happened? No kiss.
Supersonic, idiotic, disconnected, not respected. Who would ever really want to go and top that? Top that.
Top that.
Top that.
Top that.
Choir of demons.
Choir demons.
Like
scraping through my ears. Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser.
Make it noted somewhere that we now know what makes Kent smile.
We got crying dad stuff in movies makes him cry, and alligators eating girls makes him smile. We don't do crawl. We do fast moving alligator. Why are they fast moving alligators on roller coasters?
So there were
alligators.
There were alligators trying to
the dragons killing.
Well, they're dragons quickly chasing women. Just imagine dragons chasing women.
Okay.
Just noises.
Kids.
Get up on.
I think I've proven that I kind of have a heart sometimes.
Sometimes
Yeah,
you do.
only when
Season
this
6
girl's
is gonna
getting eaten by alligators.
Snowplow. Snowplow. How do you know?
I know you so well.
You've shocked me so much. I feel like I don't know you.
My headphones are stuck.
Adjust my levels, man.
Nom nom nom. Slurp slurp slurp. Imagine kissing that, Joel.
No.
You're incredibly shallow. It's just amazing.
This is news.
It's amazing.
All the other kids with their season 6. We're season 6. Sing up. TikTok. You don't stop. No, we got.
Ooh, it's season 6. You up?
No.
That's good.
It's season 6. You up? No.
Let's do it.
Not booty calling.
Come on.
Baconsale approved.
It's season 6. You up?
No.
Because it's in the morning.
Because
Your kiss is on my list. And know your kiss, I can't resist. What about it's
what's the pun in
season
that?
6? Get pumped. Get pumped.
Get pumped.
No, you pumped.
We're not starting off season 6
Season
with an
six,
innuendo.